Well, welcome, Bob. Welcome, Peppo. I'm back. 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Hello, Bob. I have no idea what that is in real money, but it's probably cold, given that 86 is like normal temperature here. um, right, yes, I'm back from my lovely weekend with Kimberly the other week, which I did think of actually doing. I took my gimbal and I took sort of my phone and everything and phone to read comments and all that. And I was possibly going to go live on the Sunday because the plan was to after we had lunch at a rather nice country hotel that we'd go and visit a castle. And I was tempted to sort of maybe go and live stream from there. But as we finished lunch and I'd asked Kimberly if she would like to go for a stroll around the gardens of the country house, and she said yes, and we walked outside and it was raining, and so that was the end of that. And we just got in the car and drove towards this castle and had a look at it from the car in the rain and took a picture. And that was as far as we got, and then drove on to Chester to do our tour of Chester, which had to be cut short because 2 hours that had been sort of factored in for doing the walks had expired, had gone. So everything was 2 hours in advance. So we left Chester before we'd eaten because we would run out of things to do. But anyway, yes. So I'm back in my living room, trying to sort of get through the river. You ready to join the river with me? 7 degrees centigrade. Well, it's chilly. It's about the same temperature here, actually. This is why I've got my central heating on. And I'm not going outside to do a live stream, not without like leggings under my trousers and scarves and gloves and anyway, it's very difficult to read comments with gloves. Yeah. But yes, so last time I saw you, Joe Biden was still president. He still is, but I mean, Kamala Harris was all the pundits were wrong. I was watching lots of videos. It must have been some kind of like Democratic bubble videos. Oh, she's doing wonderfully. Trump's doing badly, and he's doing this and doing that. And look what happened. That's a disaster for sane. A sane, future sane world, which is why we're up a river. And I hope you brought your paddles because it's going that way, like that guy in the advert. If you saw the advert, there's a sort of guy going backwards in a kayak on a river, going over a waterfall. That's what's going on. Yes, I'm on the river of life. That's the theme. Carry on up the river. If Alas were here, she would get the joke. There's a like series of British films. Pepper might even know from the 60s to the 70s called the Carry On series, which is sort of really bawdy, like end of the pier humour. naughty postcards and all that sort of thing. And it just that was the mood I was in when I was like thinking of what can I call the show. You know those films, yes, sort of not high quality, nothing to write home about, but very classic in their own way, classic British bawdy comedy from the 60s that wouldn't get made today. Let's put it that way. So what do I got to do? I've got to go here and I've got to click start because I'm on a loop. Yes, I'm on a loop. You're only going to get off when I get off. Right, let's go. This is an ego trip. This is me on the River of Life. There we go. That's me on the river. I think I've shown these pictures before. That's me on the River of Life. About 50, no, slightly more than 50. Yeah, probably about 54 years ago. With my dad in the background in the wellies and the pale trousers, and my granddad smoking his pipe and his long coat there. So yes, that'll stay on the screen for about a minute, and then it transitions into the next picture. So yeah, you just stare at me in my little like cool Sherlock Holmes hat and overcoat, and that's how they dressed kids back then. You know, they dressed them like mini adults, and I suppose they look like mini adults now. But or conversely, adults now look like bloody children. That's my son, my youngest son. He's transitioned from being like a baggy hip hop, you know, like fan into a sort of into a respectable gentleman, and possibly tonight we're going together for the first time to a cocktail bar that he's discovered in town. So you know, sort of he decries the fact that the youth of today, or the young adults of today, or even the older adults of today look like how do I put this, shite. I'm sorry. A future farmer? No. I often went with my father, who was a farm supply, had a farm supply business, and before that he was a representative for farm supply companies. And sometimes I would have as a treat go with him in the car while he did his deliveries to these farms. And I go and see the farms, and looking at the farms, it was great. It was just like, you know, oh, that's nice. Farmers. I wouldn't like to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go and milk the cows or anything like that. No, sorry. But without these people, we'd all starve, really, or we'd exploit the third world and get them to give us food, which we do anyway. That's me on my auntie's horse, and that's my mother. Back when she was in her 20s, she's now in her 80s and has had mild strokes. So it's nice to see her when she was still sort of with it. Me, again, you know, very fashionable. Woolly trousers, red wellies. The 1968 fashion for children. Oh, there I am. There I am reading, I think, The Tale of Tom Kitten. Oh, my father is reading it to me outside of Beatrix Potter's house in the Lake District. Food, that's what I get from the supermarket. Yes, that's what I get from the supermarket when I've got some money left. I could, I mean, but I'm being fairly frugal at the moment, because having sort of spent this money to go to England, and then bought sort of quite a few of the meals when I was out with Kimberly, and I noticed that my bank account had shrunk quite a bit. So I'm being cautious now until my next wage check comes in. So food, yes, that's sort of like the minimum. So how have you been? Are you feeling better, Bob? Are you feeling a better Bob? Bob. There I am, father and son, going down to, I think that's a cafeteria there with the yellow door. That's a cafeteria in what was a former boathouse on Lake Windermere in the Lake District. It's still a cafeteria. It was a cafeteria back in the 1970s when this picture was taken, and it still is. So 50 years later. Much better. Great. And I seem to remember you saying sort of you were kind of like tied up with this work, so to speak, until when. I'm not quite sure when. I can't remember when you said. But given that the fact that you've been sort of uploading some videos and doing some live streams, I presume you're sort of starting to get back into the flow of things, and that work has sort of eased off a bit. Before the supermarket. Right, hang on. There's me, and that's in the same sort of area, but possibly at a different time zone. And judging from the outfit, short denim shorts, stripy socks, and a t-shirt, and possibly sandals. I've probably got sandals on. This is me around about 6 or 7, so this will be sort of in the early 70s, climbing a rock, as you do. Children wouldn't be seen dead dressed like that these days. I used to have a pair of blue nylon shorts and a white nylon shirt and a clip-on tie. And I had maroon flared trousers and a maroon, white and black striped tank top as well. And I had a pink nylon shirt that went with that ensemble. You plan to begin? Yeah, I was up from like last night and this morning editing one little 53-second short, and it was not my best effort, but it got to the point. Yes, they don't know where the food comes from. You know, there's a pizza farm over there. Get your nuggets. Get your nuggets. Here, live nugget farming. Farm to table. McDonald's farm to table. That would be interesting. Watch your food being processed. Are we back to that again? That was quick. Sorry. I shall just... I thought it... I didn't realise. We'll go back to the neutral background. There's enough of me as a child. I'll put that on pause. Yes, so... The river of life. I mean, it's all going a bit pear-shaped, isn't it, really? There we were. Free-thinking, educated, Western liberal people, and everybody else has decided, no. We want oligarchs and convicted villains and people who will, who've not got your best interests at heart. We want those as leaders in Hungary, in France, in Italy. Wherever, China is basically, yes. I mean, that's a given. But America, come on, bloody hell. MDA 87, hello, welcome to Up Sheet Creek without a paddle show. It's going. Yes, MDA. It's sort of going. In the direction of a waterfall. We're on a river, okay, and there's no avoiding the waterfall at the end. Just enjoy the journey, and don't look at the colour of the water. And just to bring you up to speed, I've had nothing to eat since breakfast, and about 3 glasses of wine. So that's the tenure of the show, or the tenor, not the tenure. The tenure of the show just goes on and on and on. 5 years and more than 5 years and counting. It all ends up in the ocean of life. Yes, but hopefully not like microplastics. Yes, human beings and the earth. I think the earth will be greatly relieved when we become extinct. I should imagine. Enjoying a nice mountain view in Denver this morning. Oh, nice. All right. Colorado. Is it chilly in Colorado? Used to be a chap that followed my old live stream from Colorado. And he would give us, and he was Nandemo Guy, he was called. That was his YouTube name. Forgotten his name. I actually met him in Japan with his cousins, and when he came to visit, his wife's Japanese, and sort of for 6 months for the year, they come for a month or so to Japan. Several feet of snow. Blimey. Well, we've got that on the way. Apparently, according to, this is very British talking about the weather, but there's a cold front coming. It's going to hit sort of Ireland and Scotland, and eventually move into Northern Europe, and certainly it's going to hit Scandinavia. But it could get a bit chilly from Monday here, and we may have kind of, possibly not snow, but yes, snow in November. Several feet. Are you one of these people with a snowblower, or you just go out and shovel the stuff? Mile High Stadium. Hang on, Peppo. Where I'm trying to relate that to previous comments. Not quite sure. Or to something I said. I forgot what I said already. It's one of those shows. It's the river of life. It just flows like sewage. Oh dear. This is one of those shows. For anybody who clicks on my advert and decides, oh, that looks interesting. I'm terribly sorry, it isn't. It's just this. I better go to some nice pictures, not just of me. I've got some nice pictures of England. There we go. Oh, right, hang on. I've got to go back to that's a village in the Lake District, but we'll start there. There we go. That's a tarn. The small lake there is called a tarn because it's, I don't know why, I don't know the etymology of the word tarn, but it's basically like a tiny little lake tucked away in the hills. Mile High Stadium. Oh, right. It was in relation to MDA 87. Okay. Now I get it. I think this is another view of the same tarn from a different time of the tarn from a different angle. My sons and I drove there, parked up near the tarn, and then went for a walk around it through those woods there, and then up this hill, whence I took the photo. Football, yes. Football, American football is something else, isn't it? It's sort of like rugby, but not. I think this was a shot from the summer of a couple of years ago. I went for a walk with the boys. Nice view behind my back, yes. Behind this green screen, it's not a nice view. It's an unmade bed. And a PlayStation 4 and bits and bobs. Those mountains in the background, they're called the Langdale Pikes. Pike being the sort of the pointy bits. and my sons and I have been to the top of the pointy bits, and they're in their 20s. I'm nearly 60, so it was a bit hard, and I reluctantly agree whenever we sort of go to the Lake District, and then someone says, "Let's go up there." I go, yeah, maybe, okay, perhaps, possibly. Bear in mind, I'm not a spring chicken anymore. This is from the car park of a pub that's near my brother-in-law's sister's place. Just for context, you know. Can I see yourself? Can you see yourself on the monitor? I can. I'm looking at myself now, talking. I've got the StreamYard thing on my computer screen here. I mean, I can't show you because if I take the camera out, it will disappear from me, and you'll just see the computer screen. But I can. I'm aware of what I look like, as are you, and I am aware of what I sound like because I'm wearing the headphones. So I'm not crackly. I mean, I actually didn't check, so I presume I'm not a Dalek and crackling. It says somebody's left. So either Bob has fallen asleep or MDMA 87 has decided that the mountain view is much more interesting. Oh, yeah, it would... Recyclable. Well, yes, there are people who stipulate that they want to be buried in a tree bag. You know, they dig a hole, you put you in it, and they plant a tree on you. That's recycling for you. My Japanese actress friend, when she, I mean, you know, I read up about it and everything, but she had bought herself for her ashes to be sort of taken off into space, but unfortunately that never came to pass. She passed away before that could all be like confirmed, and I think she's just in an urn now somewhere in Japan. I can't remember. I used to be able to remember the name of this village. Chapel Style, that's it. It came to me. Chapel Style. Oh, yes, and creepy rabbit from the K Brothers K version of Alice in Wonderland, just to sort of freak you out a bit. Human composting, yes. You basically you're buried in a hole in the ground, you know, which is what burial is really, but in a bag with a tree seed. So you rot away and provide sustenance for the tree. I suppose that's you know. I can't imagine the majority of Trump voters applying for that, and it's kind of sort of a quirky, lefty, loony, greeny type thing to do, you know. Yeah, just as long as I don't sort of like leave a mess, you know, a stain on the floor as I rot. No, just tidy me up. I don't mind. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. You get vacuumed up. Keep it nice and tidy. Hello, we're going round again. I was only like putting pictures on 10 minutes before the show started, so that's why there's not so many. Well, unfortunately, probably Alas is working today, and I haven't seen hide nor hair of Cool Grey, or still got no guitar. He keeps changing his name. And Radri is actually, you know, my like a like moderator or manager on Discord. He's busy on Twitch playing Silent Hill. I considered that. I've not stopped playing Silent Hill, but today I was thinking, what can I do? I haven't done a gaming live stream for a while. I've just finished Ghost of Tsushima twice, and I've just started now. What is it called? Sekiro, which is another sort of pseudo samurai kind of game that my friend and former guest Wombat, who was on years ago, who lives in Kyushu, he was doing live streams and that, and I thought maybe I should do that, but I'm a bit rubbish at it, so it wouldn't have been very entertaining. I get a lot of viewers later. Yes. I mean, for some reason, I get about 30 views after the event, after the fact. How long they watch? I mean, hello, thank you for watching. People who watch after the fact. This is for you. Thank you very much. It doesn't, provide me any monetization or anything like that. It just provides me with a slight hit of dopamine to know that I've amused you. Some people in the world who I normally would never talk to, and I never talk to you. I never talk to people when I'm in the world as it is. So I'm grateful for that. Keeps me relatively sane. Oh, this is a big rock in a river, because you sometimes come across these in life, big rocks in the river of life. Fourth person who has arrived, welcome. Don't click off just yet. You clicked off. Bloody hell. My live stream, yes. I looked at my statistics, and it's America. Yes, I suppose. Yes, it's possibly America, Canada, and one or two in Japan, and the rest is Europe. So yeah. Oh, they're back. So I caught you. Hello, welcome. Welcome to Drinking Wine Up the River. I'm going to go back here because this is more appropriate. Flock wallpaper. Dark blue flock wallpaper. Elegant. Refined. Just makes up for the host, really. Hello, new viewer. Yes, please say hello, new viewer. Maybe it's not a new viewer. Maybe it's an old viewer and they're just shy. But if you're a new viewer, I've had some new viewers and they've announced themselves. Oh, he's gone again. There's a third viewer. No, let's come back again. What's going on? Hello. Yes, Peppo. Yes, Pleasant Street, as I explained on Messenger. It's just up the road from me. It's about like 10-minute walk from here. We could have gone the other week when I was like wandering about, but it's not very pleasant, really. It's just meh. It's really good. In the 1950s and up to the 1960s and beginning of the 1970s, it still had some nice buildings in it, and it was still sort of pleasant. But then, in the 1970s, everybody decides everything old has got to go. It's the modern age. Let's knock everything down, build stuff that's going to look absolute crap in 5 years, and it'll sit there for 20 years. Yeah. So that's what happened to Pleasant Street. It's not that pleasant anymore. No, not really. There's very little to recommend it. It's not like offensively ugly or anything like that. It's just you know going along it. You wouldn't recall anything after having gone along it. Yes, in the USA, yes. There's some towns in New England with little like wooden houses and picket fences that you might think, oh, that's nice. And then there's the rest. And then there's some big cities where you sort of the inner parts of the big cities are wow, impressive. Oh yeah, old buildings, yeah, skyscrapers. And then there's the rest. I'm sorry, I don't know what happened. When the people from Europe came over and moved to America, what possessed them to produce uninspiring towns and suburbs? It's like sort of Milton Keynes, but with warm temperatures. If you have a grudge against your own culture, civilization, architectural styles, please feel free to express it here on Simon's Living Room, where we do that sort of thing. Constructive, positive outlooks on life. Yes, they're also welcome. We shall debate them. We shall analyze them. Come along, and profess them. Blimey, no, I've had enough now. Oh God, it's me again. Go back there. No. Stop. I must have hit play or something. The sun is actually coming out. This is a rare event. I mean, it has not been sunny in Belgium for at least a fortnight. It's just been grey and foggy and miserable. I had a rare thing occur. I mean, after I left Kimberley's on last Sunday, and the Monday I drove back to my parents, and unfortunately on the Sunday at Kimberley's it's been well, not at Kimberley's, but when we were in Chester, the weather turned against us. Like I said, sort of we couldn't go for these walks because I walked around Chester with mostly with an umbrella, and I think we kind of got fed up. I mean, Chester's very nice, like 17th century galleried streets and all that sort of business. But when there's only a limited amount of time you can do that, and in the rain it's not so much fun. So the day ended quite prematurely. But the next day I drove to my parents in even further north, and it was sunny all day. Unfortunately, my parents are very old, and I had thought perhaps, since I was there with the car, I could take them out, but that was not an option. So my mother said, no, not really. So we spent all day indoors. I think the highlight of my day was raking leaves in the garden and helping my mother change the washing on the washing line. What does it look like? The sun? Yes, it's sort of gone again now. There's sort of vaguely broken cloud looking out the window here, and occasionally the sun sort of breaks through. I might go out after this just to get some fresh air and work off the wine. I suppose it's a bit early in the day for some of you to be partaking of psychoactive substances, and possibly some of you don't at all, ever. I'm thinking of looking at you, UFO Bob. Oh, well, you do. You've had sake, didn't you? And you had too much sake the other day. I'll have to get hold of cocoa and have another sake show, just to give me the excuse to go out and buy some, and get Meg and Todd. Unfortunately, Shino, I mean, she's never been on again since. I think she's. Oh my God, I'm not going on there again. Oh right, yes. So Holland is as bad as Belgium. Oh look, there's some fields. There's a place when I'm driving to work. Sometimes I sort of take a sort of a shortcut, and it goes off the main road, and it goes through fields and stuff until recently, and then I saw construction work going on, and various fields had been sort of occupied by like diggers and stuff, and that was the end of the fields. From time to time, yes, consuming psychoactive substances. Yes, you're out there in California in the desert, sort of. There's UFO Bob chewing on a cactus to get the peyote. Oh, sorry. Black. What is it? What is going on with the number of viewers? We were up to 7 at one point, and now it's down to 1. I'm not quite sure what on earth is going on. It has no bearing on reality, this YouTube or even StreamYard. It's a small country, and housing is at a premium. Yeah. Well, there's plenty of old housing. That's the thing. I mean, there's lots of old houses, but nobody wants to do them up because it costs more than it does to sort of knock it down and build a new house, or build a new house on a greenfield site. So it's economics, really. There should be some kind of like government policy or European-wide policy to sort of, you can't build new houses when there's existing housing stock to be used. You don't like the feeling. That's interesting. It is a depressant, which is not the best thing to have at the moment for me. But it does. So the various substances in alcohol, which is free, well, it is legally available. Certain things attached to various like neurotransmitters or block neurotransmitter things in the same way that cocaine does. I read. So yes, and I don't fancy like paying a ton of money and sniffing cocaine, so I'll stick with wine. But yes, the temporary slowing of making your red blood cells sticky. These are things I learned in school. Sticky in it's not quite sticky, but they don't release the oxygen sufficiently quickly into your brain for your brain to function, and your brain thinks, oh dear, emergency, switch off all non-essential, emotional and rational bits, and just focus on the life-saving bits. And so that's why you suddenly feel more talkative and confident and all that, because all your all your sort of weird like bits in your brain that like prevent you from being self-confident and all that are blocked. Unfortunately, it's an artificial means to do that, and it'll wear off later this afternoon. You don't enjoy the flavour? Well, I can recommend wine. Wine is quite tasty. A nice Zinfandel from California. You would quite like that, I should imagine. It's kind of like juice flavoured, but has a different effect. It switches off everything. Yes, I mean, it's not advised to do anything serious once you've had a few. But I mean, YouTube live streaming, doesn't really count. You can do that with equanimity, with impunity, not equanimity, impunity. There's me. Could read a dictionary at the age of 5. Absolutely useless. Ability. Or I'm not quite sure what it is, but I think that the state known as hangover is starting to approach, or it just could be I'm a bit worse for wear. This is, unfortunately, this is how people view me. This is all that. This is the entrance to my world that they see. I'm not like this on a day-to-day basis. Thankfully, I couldn't operate a forklift truck in this state. And I'm going drinking again tonight, aren't I? Oh, yeah, right, yes. So I need a bit of time. This is a historic moment. This is going out drinking cocktails at a cocktail bar with my youngest son, and this is somebody who I saw being born, and I won't embarrass him too much, but I was there throughout his infancy and childhood, and now I'm going to go and drink cocktails with him, which is rather cool. You don't need, yes. I don't need. I mean, I can be quite sober and look like a complete idiot, and not mind either. I mean, I'm not always under the influence when I do this show. Just for those watching later. So, I mean, to a certain extent, some shows you'll get the real me. Yes, to what extent am I the real me after I've had 4 glasses of wine? Maybe. Are you the real you when your faculties have been, impaired? I'm just wondering now. View per view, am I doing better than Radri? I might go over to Twitch and see how many people are watching Radri's live stream on Twitch, playing Silent Hill. Just curious. I mean, there's a guy on Radri's channel that's also from Belgium, and his Twitch name is Fish-Shaped Waffle. And he watches that. He watches Radri playing stuff on Twitch. And there's a guy that was on my show that used to be, or is possibly still friends with Comical Rainer. It was like sort of a death metal, heavy metal guy. Forgotten his name, sorry, but he watches as well. You hardly watch Radri. Yes, I mean, only if you're really into Sonic the Hedgehog, which is very niche. Would you watch Radri really? He's given up entirely on Why Come Japan and that sort of thing. I mean, which is fair enough. I mean, I've kind of sort of put Japan on the back seat. Try to avoid. I mean, and like the channel name is still. I haven't been asked to change the channel name properly. It's still called Simon O Chanama, so I should change it and just call it Simon's Living Room. I mean, Japan is still there as a potential place to visit, and a kind of a not so intense interest anymore. But yeah, So I mean, yeah, his Japan. He's still got a lot of people who are like into Japan, who follow him on Discord and watch him on Twitch. Am I thinking deeply? Not really. No. Not in my current state. No, I can't. Deep thought. Is that an IBM computer or something? When is Sinterklaas due in Belgium? I think, that's a good point. It's not sure. They have a big thing about Sint Maarten here as well. I think it's 5th of December. 5th of December. And there's always a building in the main street in the town here. That's an art gallery. It's converted into the House of the Sint. And you see, occasionally you see, recently, not so much, but Zwarte Piet, Black Pete, which is usually sometimes men, but sometimes women in black tights and with blacked up faces. I'm not sure whether they're allowed to have blacked up faces anymore, pretending to be sort of Negro slaves to the Sint, running around throwing sweets and stuff, and generally being a bad influence on the political correctness of young children. But yes, that's all about to kick off certainly on the 5th of December, possibly prior to that as well. My children used to be into that. We used to have to sort of go and pretend that, and like when my kids and my nieces and nephews were little, we used to go around to my relative's house, and somebody they knew who was worked at a local baker's would dress up as Black Pete and come with a bag of like sweets and stuff. It's all very bizarre. Your channel name doesn't fit your content anymore. Yes, this is one of the things, UFO Bob doesn't really sort of match what you're doing, Orange County Wanderer doesn't quite have the same ring to it, does it? If you were to change it to that, which would be more appropriate. I mean, mine doesn't, Simon's living room. Simon's living room is it's fairly accurate. Well, Simon's spare bedroom would be would be more, completely honest. Unless I lug all this crap downstairs, and then it would be Simon's living room. Yeah, but I don't fancy doing that every week. Once in a while, maybe. Yeah, but and yes, what going out into Belgian cities has to do with my living room, I don't know. But maybe need to rethink my YouTube handle. See if that would improve things. I don't know. You'd still get the same content. Sorry, everybody. It's just what you're going to get. Regardless. A UAP, yes. Oh, right. I was watching something on YouTube the other day. There's some I think it was bizarre, some official US sort of Senate hearing on UAPs, and that they're real, and we've seen orbs from helicopters. Yeah, right, man. Right on. Yeah, and the US government has got aliens and alien technology, and Jesus, sorry. I don't know. After the the disaster that was the UK election, they have to think of something just to sort of cheer themselves up, presumably. Every year it comes in cycles, doesn't it? Sort of like in the 40s and the 50s, 60s. Each decade, there's sort of like UFO buffs who get excited that there are UFOs. I mean, as far as I know, the aliens must be really bored. God Almighty, have they got nothing better to do? Babbling. Babbling in Orange County. Orange babbling. SoCal babbling. There we are. Yes, and everybody in Texas would not subscribe. Texas, Alabama, Arkansas, Connecticut, Wisconsin. Basically, everything not outside of California and outside of like the East Coast and New England would not subscribe. Is your last name Brooke? Who are you talking to? Are you talking to me? Are you talking to Bob? And my friend, you remember Mandy? Mandy was on the show. Sort of Mandy from Mandy Marie, who lives in Florida with her wife and her cats. She said she was possibly going to sort of emigrate to Canada. I have to check with her if the election went the wrong way. Obviously, because she lives with her wife and her cats, she's not the favourite sort of person of your average Trump supporter. So she may be ending up going to Canada. Talking to Bob. Yeah. I like this tune. Hang on, I'm going to turn this tune up. It's kind of groovy. Or has it stopped? It's stopped. Oh dear. This tune is also nice. Very soporific, like the show. Yes. Babbling along. Like the show, really. Yes. Verbal incontinence. Avoiding the D word. See, have I got a nicer picture behind besides this? If I go back here, I've got the creepy rabbit. Let's get off the creepy rabbit and let's have, what's that one? A waterfall. No, I'll have the waterfall and I'll pause it on the waterfall. This is a place called Colith Falls. Colwith, Colith Falls, which is near a place called Ambleside in the Lake District. And you can only get to it by sort of going off the road and walking through these woods. It's rather pleasant. I think I need a coffee. Just something to counteract the alcohol. Well, next week on the show, this is me being preemptive. What are we next week? We're on the 20-something, aren't we? What's the date? Today is the 16th, so it'll be the 23rd, won't it? 23rd. I shall try and do something a little bit more involved than this. That's the most I can say at the moment. because I have no preparation. So we shall see what will happen next week. Verbal, yeah, I wasn't going to say it, Pepper. But yes, it'll be that, but possibly outdoors next week. There is in Brussels an exhibition of the what are they called? That from that grave of the Emperor of Qin from China. Terracotta Warriors. There's an exhibit. I'm tempted to go to that, depending on how much it costs and what the logistics are of going to that, and whether I can wander around with a gimbal talking about it. That looks quite interesting. Don't hold me to that. How often have you been taught? I don't know. Luckily, nobody has come up to me to my face to tell me you're full of it. When I've been going round poking my gimbal in their faces, they seem quite amenable. I mean, the most people that you seem to sort of like poke your gimbal at seem very, very happy to have it poked at them and respond. Yes. So yes, so next week, not sure. I mean, one day I'll get another guest on. I'll go back to the old thing of actually having an interesting show. I think I've come to a natural end of the river. We're about to go off over the waterfall, folks. Well, not yet. The waterfall leads to whatever it leads to. Either you end up being tree food, or you go on indefinitely. And I've got a lot of questions about that. Why would you want to? Being one of them. But anyway, I don't want to go on indefinitely. And I know I'm slightly being preemptive. I've got 3 minutes left. But 3 glasses of wine, maybe 3 or 4 glasses of wine on an empty stomach have led me to the conclusion that it's time to conclude this week's show. And I hope those watching whilst it was live enjoyed. Those who dipped in and disappeared enjoyed it for the brief moment that they were here. And those watching after the event watched sufficiently long to justify them clicking on it. And I'm extremely grateful for you for watching after the event. It would be nice if you would turn up when it was going on. That would be good. And I could talk to you. And you could talk to me. You know, whether you want to, I don't know. But anyway, so surprise you. Oh, God. Right. Yes, we'll see. But anyway, thank you for watching. And only remains for me to say goodbye and see you all again next week. And thank you for keeping me entertained. And I hope I entertained you. Bye, everybody. See you next week.